Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show. I'm here today with Nate Fugate, and today we're going to talk about Equity Bridge Solutions. Guys, before we get into it, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs to 5X their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. Without further ado, guys, Nate, how are you?
I'm all right, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. We were talking pre-show. It's almost like you and I were destined to be rivals forever. We're in opposing sports fan country, kind of thing. So, but I kid. Nate's great, guys. We're gonna have a great show for you, and I cannot wait to talk to Nate and get you guys to know him a little bit better. Nate, tell me a little bit, man. Background. Who are you? How'd you get into real estate?
So I joined the military right outside of high school. And when I left the military, I went right into law enforcement. And in 2019-ish, I started realizing, well, I want to do something more. I wanted to have something, I wanted a goal, right? Yeah. It's just really hard to do on a normal 9 to 5, no matter what you do or how much you make. Everybody wants a goal, right? You want something. And so, I honest to God, I had like a million things in front of me. Everybody wants to dabble in everything, right? Shiny object syndrome. I was probably the definition of that. Affiliate marketing, everything in the world. And I had all this stuff in front of me, and I literally I just prayed one night. It was like, oh my God, what do I do? And then I had this fortune cookie. And this is a true story. You got a fortune cookie. It's that he who chases 2 hares gets neither. And so I was like, oh man. So, I wish I could say, I just fell into it. My parents did it, whatever. And I found this breakthrough and whatever. It's not the case. I actually just chose it just because I saw myself, I was trying to dabble in too many things. And I just said, it's real estate, live or die with it. It's real estate. And so I got started. I started looking people up and doing some research, and then the rest is history. So,
man, fortune cookie for the win, huh? Man, I've talked to a lot of people, and I don't think I've had anybody ever tell me, how did you get your start? A fortune cookie.
Yeah.
That's so good. That's so good. No, but all right. So you went military out of high school. Is that correct? Did I catch that correctly? Mm-hmm. What branch did you serve?
Army.
Very cool. Thanks for serving, man. We appreciate that for sure. And then Army to law enforcement. What branch? What?
That's true.
Wow. Okay. Very cool. And how long were you doing? Was it a 4-year term in the military, and then how long in law enforcement?
Just a couple of years. I did from, it was like 2018, 2020. And unfortunately, on the federal side, when you're the new guy if you're under like 5 years or something.
Wow. Yeah.
COVID, obviously there was a lot of post missing, and then there's those layoffs. So I was one of those new guys who was
Sure.
part of those layoffs. So
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah. So it was in the Army was a 4-year term, I imagine? 6. Wow. Good for you, man. That's amazing. Wow. So yeah, it's funny, like in our world, in the real estate world, like you hear a lot of, there's 2 or 3 of like very common real estate pros, like in their backgrounds. It's either you were an ex-athlete, right? You're ex-military, or, and I know this is a weird one because I literally just interviewed somebody yesterday, you were in jail at one point. Dude, you think I know it sounds silly, but like the most successful people I've met in real estate have, it's kind of in that, like you were ex-athlete, ex-military, or you've been to jail. And I don't know what it is about like the mentality of that, of, you coming out of military that makes you successful in real estate or athlete. I don't, it's maybe it's a discipline thing, probably, I'm going to imagine. But that's like, it's kind of interesting, so it's funny you say that. I didn't know that you were in, we didn't talk about that pre-show. So that's really cool. So 2019, you said you kind of got into where the fortune cookie told you, let's get going. What did you start with? Was it flips? Was it wholesales? What was it?
it was wholesale. I started, I just really wanted to take massive action. So at the time, I couldn't afford these massive courses. And I think, if you remember, there was a massive gatekeep at that time in 2019 of like wholesaling information, and you had to pay. I mean, if you even wanted a dribble of what wholesaling was, I mean, you had to pay for it. I mean, it was expensive. And I wasn't one of those guys who could afford it. So here I am, just YouTubing stuff and trying to figure it out. And then finally,
how did you hear about it in general? Do you remember?
I was looking it up. I believe it was, I don't remember. It was some guru. I don't remember who it was now. They were talking about different ways to make extra income, and he was name dropping people. I think he name dropped Wholesaling for wholesaling. He name dropped another marketing. This marketing guru if you want to be in marketing, and then
right.
I think he was just, I don't know, he was just spouting out different ways to make income and the people that could teach you that. And though I did it, I wanted to go through Wholesaling at the time. It was really, really hard because obviously I wasn't in the financial position to pay what they were asking at that time.
Right.
And then, luckily a guy by the name of Sean Terry,
Let's do freedom.
Yeah. He came out with a small little course, and I cannot remember what it's called. I believe it was called something along, what was it? Small flips. I can't remember what it's called now, but he was only charging like $300 or something for it. It was just like a basic wholesale course, and I bought it. And it was like, I had $500 to my name, and I bought that course. I mowed through that course. I mean, I went through it really fast, and immediately started taking action. Within about 3 months, I was calling for sale by owners. Obviously most of them were telling me to kick rocks. And then I had one, and I was just honest with them. I know most people take the approach of, well, I want to buy your house cash or whatever. I didn't do that at all. I actually just approached, the homeowner. I gave him a call, asked to meet with him. I met with him, and I said, listen, I'm a wholesaler. This is what I want to do. They had it listed for sale by owner, in the city that I live in right now, here in Tecumseh. I think it was for like $65,000. And I said, hey,
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Yeah, I want you to take this off of Zillow. And I don't think you're going to get 65 grand for it. It needs too much work, but I think I could get you 10. And they said, okay, if you could get me at least 10 grand, right? Nobody's even called them because they saw the pictures. If you could give me at least 10 grand, then we have a deal. And I turned around and wholesaled it for 12.
Wow.
That's massive, right? So I did. They knew I was wholesaling it. I told them start to finish what was happening, and that ended up being my first deal.
Amazing. It's so funny. We have some crossover there, you and I do. My first introduction to wholesaling was also Sean Terry. Watched a 10-minute webinar, and I did my first deal from the 10-minute webinar. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, so, all right, so you're wholesaling, you're doing that, and then what's been the progression? Like, what's been next for you?
So we started off wholesaling. I ended up partnering up with somebody. We ended up creating another company, and we partnerships are okay, like anybody else, right? Like anybody that's partnered with anybody knows that there's ups and downs there. But I got a partner, and we were pretty successful. I found this guy in late 2020. We ended up officially partnering in 2021. Took massive action in 2021. Took insane action in 2022. That's when we started flipping. I think in 2022 we grossed just under 1.8 in sale business. So we decided, we were going to be big dogs and we were going to flip. And so, we started flipping. Honestly, it's been a roller coaster journey for sure. If I said it was all sunshine and rainbows, I'd be lying. There's the side of the business that a lot of people don't like to talk about. And I feel like, those things, need to be addressed, as well as the successes and stuff. Cause there's been deals where, we've made, 6 figures on, and then there's deals when we've lost 6 figures. Right. And then, nobody really remembers the deal that you made all the money on. Everybody remembers the deal that you lost. Right. So
absolutely.
So, and then the losses are far more detrimental than the wins. So, and as far as impact. So, but we've done well. A lot of that was on me as a leader, just taking risk. And yeah, so we've done really well. We've had this roller coaster, but now we've got a completely different thing that we're doing. We're adjusting with the market. And so yeah, we're still doing some flips here and there. We do wholesale, and then we have our new program.
Yeah. Well, let's rewind yet, because I do want to talk about that, but let's rewind a little bit, because you're not wrong. And I think people more today are saying, yeah, we should talk more about failure. I think it's starting to become a little more common, fortunately, for people listening. Not to scare people, but to realize that it's more common than people think, and I think that needs to be highlighted a little bit. It's like, and by the way, my definition of failure is really, it's just don't quit trying. That's failure. Right. But so in failure, when I'm talking about, I was like, hey, I lost 6 figures on that deal. Right. All right. So, I can agree. I've personally, I went through that with you, man. I was like, you know what? I'm the big dog. I'm going to be flipping all the houses too, as we do. And I understand what it's like to lose, and that part is, that when you get into it, because we've been around this for a long time, and you've heard, I'm sure you've heard people around you like, yeah, if you're in business long enough, you're going to lose. You've heard it said, but it doesn't, at least for me, it didn't really ring through until it happened.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And because like I had this run for years of like win, 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 win. All we do is win, and then I hear these people losing, but like not me. And it wasn't even out of not humility. It wasn't like a lack of humility. It was just I didn't think I just didn't have the belief system that I could lose.
Mm-hmm. And it is, I could go in one in particular just to give people context, right? So, I agree with your definition of failure 100% because
Yep.
I mean, it's, let me back up here. So I don't care, you get into this business, there's a few things that are going to happen, right? You grow enough, you're going to have employees. We were up to, I think, 13 employees at one time. There's some guarantees that are going to happen, right? You're guaranteed you're going to lose. That it's going to happen at some point. You're going to take a risk. And then one particular deal I want to talk about because we did everything the right way. Our hard money lender assessed it. We assessed it. We got it appraised. Our private money lender assessed it. My partner assessed it. That's 5 real estate professionals that assessed this property. And then I turned around and got one of my former partners who was an agent, had him assess it. Everybody said that deal was a good deal. We lost $102,000 8 months later. Right. So it is going to happen no matter what. And, things are going to happen. We've had employees take our deals, work them on other CRMs and close behind our back. Those things happen. And if, the powerful decision isn't saying, well, I'll just keep it all to myself, or I won't do this, and I'll make sure I'll keep everything. It's going to happen. The powerful decision is understanding that those things can happen, but choosing to do it anyway, right? You can clean that stuff up. I mean, it's going to happen. Like we've had it happen. I mean, I thought it was never going to happen to me. I'm just going to create this amazing culture in my business. And we did have a phenomenal culture in our business. We had a great culture at one point. But it doesn't stop people from doing things that they're going to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you don't know what people go through. You don't know what they're doing. Turns out this guy had worked for us for 3 years. He's an awesome acquisition guy. He grabbed one of our other employees and they took off to another brokerage, and, they were working our deals from that other brokerage for months without us even knowing. So those things happen, but I don't look at that and say, well, I'll just never again. I look at that and that's a lesson learned, right? At the end of the day, they didn't fit into the culture. It is what it is. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time and energy worried about it, thinking about it. I don't think about the deals that we lost. Honestly, I think about the future and like, hey, well, I'm glad I didn't take them to the next level with me. It's kind of how I feel about it. But those things are going to happen. It's going to happen. And, the powerful thing to do is to choose to move forward anyway.
Let's keep going. Yeah, let's keep after it. Yeah, I love that, man. And I'm glad you shared that story too, because that's not a small loss. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And we could trade stories, and almost very similar, same thing, 8 months later, like literally timeline's the same, you know what I mean? Like, man, but it's that's why it's important to understand, like there is real risk involved in this, and the mindset, let's say that of, even if that happens, I know it's going to be hard, but I'm going to wake up tomorrow and choose to keep trying anyway. Like, I think that's very powerful that you said that. Yeah. Cool. I'm glad we went back and did that. Pre-show, we were talking kind of like where you're leading to, and you kind of touched on a little bit like where things are at today. And we kind of talked, like we even touched on the intro, like the equity bridge solution thing. Like, Nate, like it's cool. Like, I think it's a cool thing that you're doing and adjusting and adapting with the market. That says a lot about you as a professional. I don't know if you guys have heard of the book, Who Moved My Cheese? No. If you haven't read it, read it. It's basically what we're all going through in the real estate world today of like, it's different than it was yesterday.
Yep.
Who moved my cheese? Go find it. And this is kind of a who moved my cheese moment, I'm unpack a little bit, man. What's going on today? Like, what are you guys doing?
So we came up, we've been wholesaling and whatnot, and we've noticed. I mean, everybody's noticed the wholesale market is definitely dried up a little bit, right? Especially in our market where we don't have a lot of those higher value properties. That say is like a Pennsylvania where you have Philly and then you have Pittsburgh. We have Detroit, which is everybody knows what Detroit is, right? Value I think is average at like 50 grand or something like that.
Right.
Um, and one of my mentors told me this. Sure, you all know a man by the name of Pace Morby, right? So Pace is one of my mentors. I'm in his sub-2 group. I've been there since 2021. And something that he said about a year and a half ago, I'll never forget. And he said, the worst mistake you could ever make in your business is thinking that it's always going to be the same when it's good.
Yeah.
And so I've made that mistake a lot, right? Shifting markets, and what works in a year ago does not work today. And then what worked the year before that didn't work last year. Right. And so, my thing was just feeling like, well, I mean, it doesn't matter, of what interest rates are, because demand is demand. And, it doesn't matter, what, if value's lower 10% in this market because I buy them good enough. And it just doesn't work that way. What worked a year ago will not work today, and what will work right now may not work a year from now.
Right.
And so we wanted to come up with a solution because we had a lot of leads in our CRM. We would pitch the novation, we would pitch wholesale, and they just weren't there, right? We're seeing a lot of of those sellers who are in that middle ground, who they have a lot of equity in their property, the property needs to be repaired, or they just have a lot of equity and then they do want to sell, but maybe they're not open to taking that cash offer. We break it down. I do it the RJ Bates style. I break it down for them, show them what we're looking to make, show them the kind of repairs that it needs, and I let them, we do the whole 9 yards. We've been doing this a while. We know how to screen a good deal. But for the most part, I mean, we were just finding, what we would do in 2022 where we would close, 5 deals in a month, or we would close, lock up 2 contracts, 3 contracts a week sometimes. I mean, that very same method is getting us maybe a contract every week, and maybe a closing every 2 weeks or something like that. Mm-hmm. So we wanted to come up with something that was a little bit different. Novations are good, but we'd pitch the novation, and a lot of times, and sometimes they're open to it, but then you've really got to press, right, that equity protection program. You got to really sell the value on that. And I wanted something I don't have to sell the value, right? I just want them, I want the value to be there, but I want it, I'm not a lazy person, right? I'm actually kind of lazy at heart. So I don't want to have to sit there and sell somebody something, that may or may not work for them. And I just don't do it. That's why I was such a good wholesaler, because I didn't have to sell anything. I just sold them what I could do and what I couldn't do. So I'm just not good at selling value. I'm just personally not that great at it. So I wanted to do something where the value is there, and I didn't have to sell it to them. They could see that value when I made that pitch. So I said, well, what if, because we had, I get 60 leads in the last 6 months who had tons of equity in their home. Some of them were even falling behind in payments. But they weren't ready to take that cash offer, and maybe they had tried to list it and it didn't work out because, the property needed too much work, or maybe they hadn't tried to list it yet because it needs work. The agent told them to clean it up. And so I said, well, what if we could come up with a solution that would take care of some of those cash needs that they have right now, and then we could still work with these homeowners, whether it would be wholesale, whether it would be listing the property. What if we could come up with something right now to take care of that immediate cash need and still be in control of that sale? So we, I came together with a couple of my private money lenders, and I said, okay, well, what could we do in order to add value to the homeowner, but at the same time, right, they don't have to give us, we don't have to get their house for like a cash price, the 70% repairs and X, Y, and all that. So, we didn't, that first meeting, we didn't really come up with anything productive, but then it hit me. I had actually, a homeowner asked me, he said, "Hey, well, do you guys do loans?" I said, "No, I mean, we don't loans, that's, we're an investment company. We're not, I'm not a hard money lender." But then it hit me, and he said, cause he came back and said, "Yeah, I mean, if I just had like 10 grand in my pocket, I'd sell you this house." And I said, "Well, hold on. 10 grand, how fast?" He said, "I need it the next week." He's like, and then like, you guys could, I was like, "But I need it the next week or this isn't gonna work." So I got in touch with one of my lenders. And again, it's not hard money because they're not doing credit or, they're not, doing anything like that. You're not checking income or anything like that. I said, "Okay, well, what do you owe on your property?" He said, "It's free and clear. It's a $180,000 house." And so I said, "Okay." And so I talked to my lender. I said, "Well, what if we could pull title? We can give them an equity loan. I'll help. I'll help facilitate all of this. I'll be in control. They'll sign the purchase agreement or the listing agreement, whatever we're going to use to do this thing upon that, and then we'll do a regular. We'll do a performance note, mortgage note. We'll do it the right way. You put you on the insurance before closing. If we get this done in like the next 3 to 5 days, are you interested in this? And we'll give you a normal 15% return on your money. They'll pay you interest payments, all that." Like, yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, sure. We got the money in about 6 days.
Yeah.
We did end up getting that deal. I believe that first one, he paid us a management fee at $2,500 at the end. And then, we got to list that property as a novation. I think we ended up, our very first one, we made around $24,000 on, cause we were able to kind of solve that problem. And then it came up where, we had a second seller. He wanted to list his property, but his house just, I mean, it had the red and yellow colors and the countertops were yellow and all that. He wanted to make updates. He didn't have the income. He didn't have the credit. So he came back and said, "Okay, well, what if we could get him the money to do that? We'll be in control of the full sale. I'll help him manage it. If he can't make the repairs himself, we can do a draw system, get him the money." And we were all on board. Right. I talked to them like, "Hey, what if we can make a system out of this?" We had the conversation right there and that. Like, "Hey, if I could get more lenders in on this, like, what would this look like?" And so, long story short, the house is worth, I believe the ARV on it was like $200,000. The house definitely needed about $20,000 of updates. We ended up getting him a $35,000 loan. I charged a $5,000 broker fee. I charged $2,500 management fee. And when I say management fee, I just call the contractors. We're using the money that they got, right? It's not my money. It's not, my risk is so low, right? Because I'm not using anything. I'm just calling the contract, say, "Hey, can you replace these cabinets? What's my quote? Can you, go, paint this wall? Can you tear down that plastic, put up drywall?" They're minor repairs. And so they're going to pay a management fee. And then I'm getting the listing at 3% in the end. So I get paid my management fee and I get the listing at the end and I paid my broker fee at the beginning. And so now, I mean, this is a very new program for us. We just, this has just only been since, beginning of November, we kicked this thing off. But I mean, we probably have, since then, this month, I think alone, we have 40 inquiries to do this, all with people, they have, because we screen them very well. We put right there in the form, do you have 50% equity? What is your home worth? Where's your location? Is your value over $100,000? And so the lenders are able to secure their note. We go through a title company to do everything.
So you can secure it against both the free and clear, but then also against the equity if it came to it.
Yeah. So we put them in second place, or a lot of my private investors are just opting to take first place and take over the loan. Is what I'm seeing. So like, they owe them 60 grand on their $150,000 house. And then my lender's coming in and saying, "Okay, well, I'll loan them an extra 30, but I just want first place. Let me just loan them 90 grand.
Yeah. It's a little safer, right? For the lender. Yeah. They don't want to be in second position.
Yeah. So, we charge a broker fee. We get paid that upon the first refinance when they get that, and we get paid as well. And then we charge a management fee which gets paid at the end. Depending on how big the project is, we'll determine like what that will look like. and then we'll get paid when we sell the house, because they write up on, when we get them a proposal right away. It's a really awesome proposal. It just, they say there's no guarantee of funding. We do walk the house at least one time, and we're only operating here in Michigan because obviously this is where we're licensed, and it's, easier to get walkthroughs and stuff like that. But, it's subject to, walking through the property. It doesn't, the proposal doesn't guarantee them anything, but when they sign that proposal, they also sign off on my listing docs. Or for wholesaling it, they sign off on the purchase and innovation agreement. They sign off on everything right there and then, so they know what we're making, they know what the broker fee is, they know what the lender fees are, they know what everything is right up front.
Yeah.
We did nothing did it at the back end. We said, hey, if you got back taxes or anything,
the only way to do it.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, it's perfect. So they sign off on that, and then the only thing we wait on are walkthroughs. We just got to get people to walk through them. We walk through them ourselves, just to verify the pictures and whatnot.
Yeah, that $30K actually flipped this house. Yeah.
We flip the house, or we're doing a couple right now. We're doing one right now in Ann Arbor, Michigan, where the house doesn't really need anything, and they own it free and clear. It's a $290,000 flex. Beautiful property. She just wants to take 120 grand out. She's refinancing her personal home, and that's going to take 45 days per her lender. We talked to her lender. This is just going to take a little bit because of the amount of money she's asking out of her personal home. She's trying to get a large amount of money out of her personal home. So, this is just to bridge a gap. She's like, hey, when I refinance my personal home, I'm going to pay you guys off. She's like, just give me 90 days. And so I'm charging, I don't need a management fee or anything like that.
But worst case scenario, you've got that 120 against that free and clear property of 290. Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, pay us back. So, and then she's got 2 other properties that she's getting ready to sell and that she wants to fix up. And now she's interested in doing those 2 properties as well. Yeah. So, and the beautiful thing is we're telling these homeowners, hey, no, we're not checking your credit. I'm not checking your income. It's asset based. I'm going to help you out with this whole thing. And the reason
you're helping homeowners flip their own house.
That's exactly what we're doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got one where I'm charging a $10,000 management fee, right? Because the rehab is a little bit more, but I'm not even the project manager on that, right? There is an actual project manager on that site. It's a beautiful thing, man. And so we're able to help the homeowners because I don't have to sell the value, right? The value is that we're not checking their credit, we're not checking their income. They get money to fix up their house, to sell it for top dollar, or they get money to satisfy that immediate cash need, right? And so now if I want to do an innovation or I want to list the house or I want to wholesale it, I'm able to do that because their immediate needs are getting met. We're fixing up the house. They've already signed off on all the agreements. It's been really nice so far.
Yeah, dude, it's great. I love the model. It's definitely a kind of a twist I haven't yet heard of, and I love it's very marketable, right? Flip your own house. I love that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, man, I wish we could talk forever. This is incredibly interesting, and maybe we'll just have to have you back on and just break it down a little bit further for us. But man, before we kind of get out of here, though, Nate, do me a favor. If people wanted to reach out to you, maybe they want to learn a little bit more about this, where would they go?
You can email me, Nate at allinhorizon.com. You can look me up on social media. And you know what? Feel free to shoot me a text, 517-442-9585. That'll come straight to me. I might launch a Facebook group or something. And if you want to learn more about it, I could go into that Facebook group and maybe teach a little bit more about it, how to acquire private life, do this, and et cetera, and all that.
Dude, guys, I'm serious. Like, I will be person number 1 in there with you, right, Nate? Like, this is amazing. I encourage everybody listening to reach out to him. It's a nice little pivot, and especially in today's market, we're talking about the risk and stuff like this is this is really cool, Nate. So thanks for sharing that with us, man. Like I said, follow him, get on with him, shoot him. Guys, he gave you his phone number. He's a little crazy for it, but he gave you his number. All right, reach out, okay? But with that being said, guys, it's been a great episode. Please be sure to keep tuning in as we keep learning new strategies in real estate. And until then, we'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.